Rome had lost its emperor. Nero was gone, dead by his own hand. And with him, the last of Augustus's bloodline vanished. What followed was one of the most chaotic and dangerous years in Roman history, the year of the 4 emperors. First came Galba, the aging governor of Spain. Stern and strict, he seized power with the Senate's support. But Rome was not looking for discipline, it wanted hope. Galba's harsh rule and refusal to pay the soldiers led to his swift and brutal downfall. Beheaded in the streets. His reign lasted just 7 months. Enter Otho, once Galba's ally, now his betrayer. Charming, ambitious, and desperate to rule, Otho claimed the throne. But he wasn't the only one with imperial dreams. Far to the north, Vitellius, commander of the German legions, was marching on Rome. His men were loyal, his intent clear. The 2 emperors clashed at the first battle of Bedriacum. Otho lost. Rather than plunge the empire into more war, he chose to die by his own hand, an honorable end in a dishonorable time. Vitellius entered Rome like a conqueror. Lavish, indulgent, and completely unfit for rule. His supporters looted the city, and chaos reigned. But the east was not silent. In Judea, General Vespasian, battle-hardened and respected, was declared emperor by his legions. He marched west with the might of the eastern provinces behind him. Vitellius tried to hold the city, but Vespasian's forces broke through. The streets of Rome ran red as Vitellius was dragged from hiding and killed. His body was tossed into the Tiber. And so, at last, the chaos ended. Vespasian took the throne, not by inheritance, but by sheer will and strength. He founded the Flavian dynasty, restored order, and began building the mighty Colosseum, a symbol of a Rome reborn. In just 1 year, 4 men wore the crown. Only one would survive. The year of the 4 emperors proved that in Rome, power was never given, it was taken. Vespasian ruled the Roman Empire from 69 to 79 CE. His rule re-established order after civil war and re-established the authority of the emperor. The army was reorganized and loyal and trusted generals were placed in key positions. Financial reforms were introduced to promote efficient tax collection, curb corruption and restore the state treasury, depleted by Nero and the civil wars. He implemented new taxes, including the infamous urine tax, on public urinals, to generate revenue. Urine was a valuable commodity in Rome, usually collected from public latrines and used in various processes like tanning and bleaching. He initiated major building projects such as the construction of the Colosseum, Flavian Amphitheatre. In 66 CE, the Jewish revolt was crushed, a campaign completed by his son Titus. The Jewish revolt, also known as the First Jewish-Roman War, lasted from 66 to 73 CE. It was the first of several Jewish-Roman wars and had lasting consequences for both Jewish history and the Roman Empire. Vespasian further strengthened the empire's frontiers and maintained military discipline. His legacy is one of practical and down-to-earth leadership, promoting capable administrators and laying the foundation for a relatively stable succession, by his son, Titus. Titus ruled the Roman Empire from 79 to 81 CE. Though his reign was brief, he is remembered as a capable and benevolent emperor who followed in the footsteps of his father, Vespasian, and continued the stability of the Flavian dynasty. He finished and inaugurated the Colosseum, begun by Vespasian. The opening was celebrated with 100 days of games, including gladiatorial contests and animal hunts. He dealt with 2 major disasters during his reign, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE, which destroyed Pompeii and Herculaneum, and a major fire and plague in Rome, in the year 80 CE. Titus was praised for his swift and generous relief efforts, personally funding aid and rebuilding efforts. Known for his fairness and generosity, he reportedly said, "I have made but one mistake today, I did no good to anyone." He vehemently rejected political purges and cruelty, despite being feared for his earlier harshness as a general. He maintained peace across the empire and did not engage in significant military campaigns during his reign. In 81 CE, Titus died suddenly at the age of 41, possibly from illness. His brother Domitian succeeded him. Though his time as emperor was short, he is often ranked among Rome's good emperors. Domitian ruled for 15 years, from 81 to 96 CE, the longest of the Flavian emperors. He was an authoritarian, ambitious, and efficient leader, but as time went on, he became increasingly autocratic and paranoid. Domitian strengthened imperial authority and reduced the influence of the Senate, thereby centralizing power. He demanded to be addressed as Dominus et Deus, Lord and God, and ruled as an absolute monarch, leading to increasing fear and resentment in the elite class. He defended and expanded Rome's borders. His campaign in Britain reinforced Roman control. He also fought the Germanic tribes, building the Limes Germanicus, an important frontier fortification. Though militarily competent, he exaggerated victories for propaganda. His economic reforms introduced fiscal discipline, restored the Roman economy, revalued the coinage to combat inflation, and reduced corruption. He promoted Roman art and built extensively, including completing the Arch of Titus. His later years were marked by repression, executions, and a climate of fear. Domitian was eventually assassinated in 96 CE by court insiders, such as Stephanus, the steward of the deceased Julia Flavia, members of the Praetorian Guard, and the Empress Domitia Longina. The five good emperors were a group of successive Roman rulers from 96 to 180 CE known for their wise governance, stability, and prosperity across the empire. The term was coined by the historian Edward Gibbon, who saw this period as a high point in Roman imperial history. The first of the five was Nerva. Nerva ruled from 96 to 98 CE. He came to power after the assassination of the tyrannical Domitian. He was chosen by the Senate and seen as a moderate and stabilizing figure. Support for Domitian in the army remained strong, and in October 97, the Praetorian Guard laid siege to the imperial palace on the Palatine Hill and took Nerva hostage. He was forced to submit to their demands, agreeing to hand over those responsible for Domitian's death and even giving a speech thanking the rebellious Praetorians. He then adopted Trajan as his heir, beginning a peaceful succession tradition. His reign was short, but it laid the groundwork for future stability. Next in line was Trajan, a military man and popular emperor. He expanded the empire to its greatest extent, including the conquest of Dacia, modern Romania. He launched major public works like roads, bridges, aqueducts, and the famous Trajan's Forum. His rule was known for justice, generosity, and strong leadership. Trajan's reign began in 98 CE and ended in 117 CE, while he was returning from a military campaign in the east. He had fallen ill after suffering a stroke. He was succeeded by his adopted heir, Hadrian. Hadrian was a lover of Greek culture, patron of the arts and architecture. He focused on administration, legal reform, and improving the lives of citizens. Despite his own excellence as a military administrator, Hadrian's reign was marked more by the defense of the empire's vast territories, rather than major military conflicts. He scaled back expansion to consolidate and defend the empire's borders. He also surrendered Trajan's conquests in Mesopotamia, considering them to be indefensible. The Hadrian's Wall was built in Britain to mark the empire's limit. His domestic policy was one of relative peace and prosperity. He ruled from 117 CE until he passed away on July 10, 138 CE at his villa, after a long period of declining health. He was succeeded by his adopted son, Antoninus Pius. Antoninus Pius, known for his calm and just governance, ruled during a time of peace and prosperity. He strengthened Roman law and promoted stability. His long and uneventful reign was a golden age of internal harmony, marked by the absence of military campaigns. He ruled from 138 to 161 CE, and was succeeded by his adopted sons Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus, whom he had carefully prepared for leadership. Marcus Aurelius, also known as the philosopher-king, was deeply influenced by Stoicism, as outlined in his famous work, Meditations. He co-ruled briefly with Lucius Verus, his brother. The empire faced serious external threats, especially wars with Germanic tribes and the Parthians. In Asia, a revitalized Parthian empire renewed its assault. Marcus Aurelius sent his co-emperor to command the legions in the east. Lucius was authoritative enough to command the full loyalty of the troops, but already powerful enough that he had little incentive to overthrow Marcus. The plan succeeded. Varus remained loyal until his death. In 165 CE, the Antonine Plague, also known as the Plague of Galen, was a devastating pandemic that struck the Roman Empire between 165 and 180 CE. It was one of the first major pandemics in recorded history. It is estimated to have killed 5 to 10 million people, severely affected the Roman army and contributed to economic decline. The plague possibly influenced his Stoic writings, as he faced the plague while also dealing with external invasions and political strain. Marcus Aurelius died in 180 CE, and the throne was passed to his son Commodus, who had been elevated to the rank of co-emperor in 177 CE. This ended the succession plan of the previous 4 emperors where the emperor would adopt his successor. Thank you for watching this video. This is the second part of a 3-part series on the Roman Empire. Like the video, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. See you soon.